Welcome back, everybody, to the Too High McFly movie podcast. We thank you guys for stopping by, checking us out, and making us your podcast today. My name is Kevin Lyons.
And I'm Mike Candelet.
And today we're talking about the new series released on Amazon Prime, The Boys, created by Seth Rogen. I didn't know it was created by Seth Rogen. That's pretty cool. So it was definitely going to be funny.
Yeah, the trailers were intriguing, but not necessarily good.
Yeah.
When they were coming out. So like I think out of all of us, like me, you, Dan, Jose, like I was the only one that was kind of like, I was the most interested watching the trailers. And then we started watching, we were like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, we all had that experience once we started getting into it. But yeah, I saw the trailers and I thought they looked good. And I just didn't know when it was going to be on. I haven't even watched an Amazon Prime series yet. This was my first one.
Yeah, I've watched a couple. They're pretty good.
But anyway, yeah, guys, we're just going to give you a quick spoiler. Non-spoiler right now, and then after the music, we'll do spoilers. But yeah, man, we loved it, right?
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. It was a completely different take on what a typical superhero movie is, or TV show.
And it's just fun just to get more R-rated superhero content.
Oh, very, very R-rated.
Yeah, it was definitely, especially with the humor, and not just the humor, but the actual
like the fighting and the violence.
And the violence, the gore. There was gore in this.
A lot of gore.
And it was fucking good gore.
Yeah. It's like what the fuck? They're actually doing that shit.
Yeah, right? So we're just going to go jump into it. What do you say, Minnie?
Let's do it.
All right, Minnie, when were you sold on the show when you started watching it? When you're like, I know I'm going to watch all of this.
Well, I wasn't watching it as soon as you guys were. I think when we got back, because me, you, Jose, we all live in the same apartment, you guys were watching it.
Oh, yeah, that's
in the living room, and I walked in on like episode 6 or something like that. And I'm like, what? Holy fuck, this is really?
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in the kitchen cooking, and you guys are watching The Boys, and I'm like, oh, damn,
definitely.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that too. Just so you guys know, we're going to get into spoilers for the rest of this podcast. So if you guys haven't watched The Boys, just go ahead and watch it, and you're not going to stop because it's so good. And then come back and join us. But yeah, from here on out, it's going to be all spoilers because we both experienced it the same way, coming into somebody else already watching it.
Yeah.
And because Jose was messaging us throughout the day, it's just like, I just started the series. It's fucked up. You guys got to watch it. And we're all at work. We're like, what the hell? And I come back home, and I was just having it on the background. I'm like, whatever. And then it kind of caught my attention. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And then that's what the whole show was, but in the superhero realm. And it's just fucking cool.
Yeah, so like the whole premise of it is it's superheroes if they were essentially corporate personalities.
Yeah, it's like the Instagram models and stuff. They're like an agency.
Yeah, it's this agency, Vought.
Yeah. Such a weird name for a company.
Yeah.
That was so
with
weird.
The Vought 7.
Yeah.
So it's this company, Vought, who basically
represents all the heroes.
Yeah, they have a monopoly on heroes. Like everyone wants to sign with Vought because Vought will get you your TV show. You get a chance to be a part of the 7, which is like the Justice League in this world, and you're protected. Like you're covered for everything, like liability, insurance, like everything's there.
What I thought was cool about that was the fact that it was almost like breaking the fourth wall when they're acknowledging that they are TV shows and like remember their old movies, like some of them like their old movies. It was kind of cool to see how that's actually reflected in their
like all the sitcoms, dramas, TV shows, movies were all these heroes.
Yeah.
So like they literally ran everything. So they make the
Mesmer. Remember Mesmer's old show, the kid who was in The Sixth Sense, and then like his superpower was that he could read people's minds.
There are no secrets from me.
Yeah, and they had the whole introduction to his thing, and it looked so dated, like from the 90s.
Yeah.
There's no secret, and it's all happy music, and you see him in the interrogation room, and he just grabs that guy's hand. It's like happy music. It's right. This man is the rapist. And it's like, what the fuck? It was so funny, man. But
it was ridiculous.
That's what I liked about it, is because they blended the line between celebrity and hero, because like they were, of course, they're in the movies and like the TV shows, but they were actually saving people, and I just thought that was like really cool how they were treating basically the heroes like corrupt celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, all they care about is being famous, not actually saving people.
Right. Yeah. No, it was definitely a completely fresh take. Like, kind of like a lot of athletes now.
Yeah.
Like they're given so much that then they end up finally getting like that huge contract, and they're complete fucking assholes because everything's been handed to them their entire life. And that's what the superheroes were. Everything was handed to them their entire life. So they have shit personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting. I loved all that stuff. Like, especially when they cared more about staying on the team, like their Justice League, which was like the 7, like doing whatever it takes to stay on that team rather than just to save people. And it was all about their stats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The guy who represented like the Flash, the Speedster, A-Train.
Yeah.
He ended up getting in a race with this up-and-coming hero, Shockwave.
Shockwave.
Yeah.
You look exactly like Shockwave, by the way.
All right, whatever. But yeah, so he ends up getting in this race with Shockwave, and the whole thing is, I can't lose. If I lose, I'm off the team. They don't want the second fastest guy on the 7. So he starts taking drugs and like performance enhancers. And
that's basically what the show is about, too, because it was about like them getting souped up on that juice, and it's kind of hard to control their powers after they do it, but they're super strong.
And it's super addictive, and it was the heroin in this universe, is
pretty
what
much.
It was for superheroes.
And then we found out that it wasn't like people weren't being born naturally with abilities.
Yeah,
it's
so
like there's like this new thing where they were injecting babies with this vaccine. It was being passed off as a polio vaccine.
Yeah, well, it started off as every one of the supers believed that they were born with abilities.
Yes.
They were chosen by God. But then as the series goes on, you find out that the company Vought was actually injecting children and asking essentially parents to sign off on injecting them with this experimental drug that would give them superpowers.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, did the parents know, or they're just like tricking them with like vaccines? But but now that you mention it, I remember them talking about that.
Yeah, well, because the vaccine thing that comes in later. I'm not sure if we want to get into that now.
No, it doesn't. We're just having an open discussion about the series.
So the vaccine thing came in with Homelander, who's the Superman of the 7, and what he was doing is he was using a charity to package the Compound V, which was the drug.
To traffic it. They needed a way to traffic it.
Well, not to traffic it. So if you remember at the very end, after Elizabeth Shue's character got the promotion, she was going to be like the second in command of the company.
Yeah.
Homelander ends up going in there saying something like, oh, it was very convenient that at the time when everything was going down, all of a sudden the terrorists have a superhero.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
It was led to believe that the company was shipping everything out, but Homelander was going behind the back and sending it out as that polio vaccine so that terrorists would end up getting their own supers.
Okay.
So that it would require them to be in the military.
I got you.
So that's what it was the double thing. Like Vought was giving American kids superpowers and wanted their superheroes to be in the military.
Yeah.
Homelander wanted to be in the military and wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he
gave terrorists, like he was selling to both sides essentially.
Yeah. It's basically what Ironmonger was doing in Iron Man.
Yeah, he was selling to both sides and making sure that there was always a need for bigger, better weapons.
And there is.
Yeah.
So anyway, this series is followed by a character, Huey, who experienced some of the fallout of superhero. That's what I liked about the shows. They dealt a lot with the collateral damage.
Yeah.
So he's walking home from work with his girlfriend, and they're just having a nice little scene, and they're basically kissing, holding hands.
They're in love. They just basically said we're going to move in together.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden she just explodes because super fast A-Train goes running right through her because he was juiced up on those. Dude, that was fucked up.
That was within the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
Man, that was so good. That would that sucks for her, but I'm just talking about just like if you want to really get people interested right away and like do something fucked up like this, and then explain it, and that was so crazy because you never really think about the Flash like in DC comics doing that because he can just get out of the way.
Yeah,
and then it was I don't know, man. It was just really cool.
Yeah, no, it was great. They definitely made the heroes like they did it in a way where the heroes were revered, but they did a lot of shitty things. Like they'll save millions of people, but occasionally they'll go off the rails, but we'll forgive them because they're supposed to be better than us.
Yeah, a lot of it too feels like kind of like politicians. They're a certain way on the outside, and then when you hear them talk when they're up on their private floor and they're just fucking swearing and doing crazy shit, and you can see that they don't really care. That was really interesting to see because it kind of makes them the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then we have Huey, who has now been in contact with Carl Urban.
Yep. Billy Butcher.
Butcher, dude, he's awesome.
He was a great character, and he was one of the ones that didn't get blinded by what supers are.
Yeah.
And
I liked how much he was on the edge of like being really crazy and really smart sometimes. When you just see somebody they're working off vengeance, and like sometimes you're just like you don't like the decisions you're making, and then you do like the decisions that they're making. I don't know. They did a really good job.
Yeah, we didn't find out what his actual motivation was until episode like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So we're spending a majority of the season following this protagonist who's not necessarily a good guy, but has a lot of valid reasons for going after supers. From what we've seen them doing. But we don't know what his actual motivation is until like episode 6.
And that's because Homelander raped his wife.
Yeah. And then she disappeared 8 years ago.
Yeah. So essentially they're representing like what would be like the band of villains that are trying to take down the heroes. But it's so cool that this series makes them actually the heroes, trying to expose everything, and they're being looked at as the bad guys, where the hero, like the superheroes, like they appear as good, but they're actually kind of bad. You know what I mean? Like they're just, I don't know, man. It was just such a fun series to explore those type of topics.
Yeah, no, it was in the comic, it's based off of a comic, which was released by Image, I believe. Mm-hmm. Takes it it's very similar. There's a few differences. It was just revolutionary, and you can tell that because I guess DC was originally supposed to release this. Mm-hmm. So you can tell, like with the 7, the Justice League, there's the Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman. You can tell they're based off of the DC heroes, and not a lot of the Marvel ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It felt like a DC. It just felt like, this was originally written for like an Elseworld story for DC, but we couldn't get the rights.
Like an Elseworld, like multiverse like story for
in
DC.
Another universe. This is what Superman was like. He was a fucking asshole. Yeah. So Huey and Butcher, they have their own little ragtag group of guys trying to take down all the heroes because they got the other guy, Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk.
What the fuck? Character name is Mother's
Which
Milk.
they make fun of.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, your mom actually called you Mother's Milk? Yeah, she called me Mother's Milk. What the fuck's your problem?
That's so weird, but I like it, and it's just so funny because I remember when first watching it, we had the subtitles on, and I'm like, yo, did they just like list the character's name as Mother's Milk? I'm like, that's got to be a typo, and then they started calling him Mother's Milk. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then they had Frenchie.
Frenchie, dude, I like Frenchie.
Frenchie was fucking awesome.
He was cool.
And then the female.
Oh yeah, Kimiko.
Yeah, Kimiko, but the female through most of it.
She was like basically X-23.
Yeah. Oh, that was like the only Marvel counterpart.
Yeah, right. But it was cool because they're basically trying to take down the superheroes, and they find out about the
Compound V.
Yeah, the Compound V, and because Huey's girlfriend got exploded, they're trying to get him to sign an NDA like Vought is, and trying to pay him off. So he's just like, hey, let's just let it go, and that's when Al Butcher gets a hold of him, and then. The one hero, the transparent, what's his name?
Yeah, Transparent.
Fucking the invisible guy who's spying on Huey, and he follows him back because he saw him place like a plant a tracer in the office.
A microphone.
An audio device. Yeah, an audio device, and so they basically get into a huge fight with translucent.
Yep.
What were we calling transparent?
Translucent.
The translucent. Yeah, that's what his name was. So basically, he could be invisible because his skin is like carbon.
Yeah,
and it can reflect light, bend light around him.
Like a chameleon type deal.
But it makes his skin like super strong.
Yeah, like impenetrable.
But they captured him because like when they dropped Huey back off, and he just started beating him up, and there's like, who are you working for? And he's getting him beaten up by this invisible guy. And then Butcher comes back, and they electrocute him, and so they have him hostage now, and that's when the series really started getting really good.
Yeah. So they capture him, and then they end up putting him in a freezer at an abandoned restaurant.
Yeah,
and they spend an episode and a half or something like that trying to figure out how to kill him.
Because there's no way they have to kill him because like
he saw who they were and they can't risk it and everything like that. So
And that's basically where Huey gets like that turn to a supervillain. You know how superheroes have their moment that they decide to become a hero, or the path to become his hero. That's what I liked about Huey, because this was like his path to be a not a supervillain, but like just the bad guy, hating supers. Because this kid grew up loving supers. Yeah, he had all the posters on the wall.
Had the Comic-Con exclusive A-Train figure that was,
and he gets thrown into this situation, and they're trying to, like, the hero, the translucent guy's trying to talk him out of it because they figured out a way to kill him by shoving a bomb up his butt. And Huey had the controller.
Yeah, he had the detonator.
And Huey was kind of getting his feet in and out. Like, he kept on, I don't want to do this. I do want to do this. I don't want to do this.
All I want to do is take down A-Train who ran through his girlfriend. Like, you don't have to be a part of this. We'll let you go.
But now he's finding out that the superheroes are more corrupt. Yeah. And so finally they have he has a chance to escape, and he's in front of Huey. He's like, just let me go, man. They're going to be looking for you the rest of your life. And then all of a sudden you just see him, like, put his head down and translucent walk by him, and then he's just like, fuck it, he just blew him up. He just blew him up. And that was like that moment where he decided to become a bad guy, well, like a villain according to this world, because he's still like seen as a good guy, you know what I mean? But that's what I love about the show, is that they mess with the perspective on who's a hero and who's not a hero, who's a bad guy and who's not a bad guy, because it's just a whole gray area in the show.
And then there's turns that go through with the characters and everything like that. Like, it was a really well put together show. Mm-hmm. And the acting was great, the story was great, the way they shot it was great. Like, it was just a very pleasant surprise.
You know who I love is Starlight.
Citizen
Starlight, dude, she's great, man.
She was fantastic. I think you made the comment, like, she's what Captain Marvel should have
been. She should have been Captain Marvel, not Brie Larson. She was perfect, dude. She's so great.
Yeah, she was a fantastic casting.
Yeah, and she was a great actress. She looked
Erin Moriarty.
That's her name?
Yeah, that was the actress's name.
She had great personality. She just looked great in the costume, like a superhero. And it's just, I don't know. Even her powers felt just like Captain Marvel, except for flying. That was like the only thing. I don't think Starlight could fly. Could she? Was she a flyer? I don't think she was.
No, I think they showed her as like bulletproof, the energy blasts.
And her and Huey kind of have like the lovers relationship in like a show that kind of keeps you interested in it, you know? Yeah. And I love that, but he kept fucking up. I was like, yo, man, you're getting this superpowered girlfriend and you're doing shady shit behind her back.
Well, yeah, he kept on fucking up. And then like when he was ready to like stop it, Billy would fuck it up and force him to go back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like he needs to clone her phone, and he's on a date with her, and he's just like, fuck.
Yeah, and spends the entire date like debating, like, there's so many chances where her phone's just slow and he could do it, and he's just like, no.
And then he did it.
Yeah, because he kept on having flashbacks of his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like, he kept on like looking away and cool. Seeing Robin, his girlfriend, who was right into. And like, there's times where he's debating doing something because he knows it's wrong, sees her, and there's like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Yeah. And things like that. So he kept on showing a reason on why he's doing this to, at least with Starlight, someone who appeared to be good and decent.
And I think there was a point in the series too where he overcame that. Do you remember that, when he wouldn't see her anymore? Yeah. And so that's when he started kissing Starlight.
Yeah. Well, it was he saw her as Starlight was going in for a kiss. Once they kissed, then he no longer saw her again.
He's just like, my boner has moved on. Sorry, Robin, you got disintegrated by A-Train. A-Train fucking gave the train to his girlfriend, and she's exploded. But yeah, man, there's like so many parts of this. I mean, we're kind of all over the place, but there's so many parts of the series we have to touch on too. A-Train and Pop Claw. Okay, so we were following those characters for a little bit, because it turns out that A-Train was the one who was getting all the what was it called? Compound V?
He was the runner.
Yeah, exactly. You go run the drugs. Yeah. And his girlfriend, they were kind of like low key, like she was a super too, but they weren't supposed to be public about it.
Yeah, so the company had such a stranglehold on these heroes and their image that he needed to get approval from the company to announce that they were dating. Yeah. And the company either wouldn't give the approval, or he was so scared to ask because his image was the playboy. Yeah.
That's right. He didn't want to disrupt that image.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he ends up getting caught by the guys, by Butcher and Huey, and he fucks up his whole game because that's like all the information from his girlfriend Popclaw. They led them to that basement where they were trafficking the stuff, and that's where they found the girl in the being held captive.
Yeah.
And they let her go, and then the guys who were like, no man, don't let her out of the cage. And all of a sudden she just goes, she starts fucking slicing dudes up with her hands. And then that one guy who came running in and he saw that she was out and he just took out the gun and he just killed himself.
Rather than let her go fucking crazy. He was like, nope.
Dude, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then she comes into this whole big hot mess of a plot with Frenchie. I like it. I like how Frenchie, that was something that he was having to deal with.
Yeah, because he kind of saw himself in her.
Yeah,
it was like
a damaged person.
Yeah, damage, and it's like, oh, they just see you as a weapon. Like they let you loose, and you go and you kill people, and that's what they think of me. And I don't want to be that person, and I don't think you want to be that person.
It was just really cool how they did that with him and her. Yeah, and especially how he was telling her about his old past experience of being broken, being abused by his dad, and he knows that's what's happening to her. You know, he's like, just help me find the people that are doing this to you. You know, it was just really cool, man.
Yeah,
really cool stuff.
Leading out to there, we end up finding out that they blackmail Popclaw.
Yeah, that's right.
And A-Train finds out
because her landlord kept on asking for the rent, and it's just like Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yeah. Where's the rent, Peter? You know. Yeah. And then she finally invites him in. She's gonna like sex him up and
because she's hopped up on the compound V at that point.
She took some of that compound V, and so she decides to hook up with the landlord. She's sitting on his face.
Say you like eating ass.
Yeah.
Say you like eating ass.
And then she just crushes his face. And, like, it was just so perfect because she gets up. She's like, oh, my God. And then that's when the guys come in.
because they bugged her house.
Yeah, they had her house bugged. Yeah. Oh, man. It was just such a... that's what the show did so well. It's just having all these intricate storylines and seeing how they all blend in together. It was really cool.
Yeah,
man.
but then... What was great about that is like A-Train loved her.
Yeah.
Like he was with her for at that point like 9 years or some shit like that. Like there for a while since they were kids. Then they find out about her leaking the Compound V information.
Yeah.
So he ends up hiding her away in Mexico. Yeah.
And then when he finds out that he made her tell like who she told about.
So then it's like he fucking persuades her or convinces her. It's like, oh, they finally said that I can come forward with information that we're seeing each other. They're letting me do it, but you have to tell me who you told.
Yeah, you have to tell me who you told about the V
So
compound.
she tells him, and then he fucking injects her with heroin.
Yeah, and so I'm like, wait, they already had the heroin? Like that's how they were already doing heroin.
Yeah.
Not just V compound. They were actually doing heroin.
So he fucking kills her. Like, just show like how fucked up and how much they're trying to protect their own image.
Yeah.
He killed the woman that he fucking loved to protect his image. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is really fucked up, and you automatically don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you accidentally run through somebody, but if you super speed to get some fucking heroin needles just to jam in somebody's arm and you just inject them, like, you're fucking killing people. That's fucked up, man.
Then you find out that the whole person behind that was Homelander, the Superman.
Yeah.
He was the one that told him to go down there and do that shit, and he reported back, like, made it look like a drug overdose. And
dude, I just gotta say, even though he's super powered, Homelander has the most punchable superhero face. What's up with his lips? You know what? Like, it just looks so weird. Like, I don't know what it is, but he just has the most punchable face, which means he did a good job.
Yeah.
It was perfectly casted, the show.
Yeah, no, he had that, like, all-American good guy, but so good that he's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah. And they get into this when they're talking about his origins, because they try to do like a reality show about all the supers, and you see him on his farm where he grew up, and he's going through the house where he's like, this is where me and mom did this, you know?
Yeah,
and
like
so
the Superman origin.
Yeah, the Superman origin. But then we find out later that he was raised in a lab. That's when we find out that nobody was born a super. They were injected after they were born, and they became super. And that's when you see him like as a little kid in a padded room, and he's just looking up
with a target in his room that has burn marks on it.
Yeah, so you can see that he's already like burned himself up, and he's holding that baby blanket, and he's looking up at the door where the scientists are looking in on him. Yeah. That's like it's it brings in that nature versus nurture aspect of superhero stuff too. You know, like where you were raised. If Superman was raised in like fucking Russia, if they found him, or like just any other bad situation, just how bad that person could turn out to be.
Yeah,
it was really interesting how they did that.
Yeah,
and he was mad that he was raised that way too, because like imagine if he was raised by good people. You know, because he was the most superpowered superhero on the whole planet.
Yeah, he was Superman.
Yeah.
And he was raised in a lab. He had very little human contact, and he finally ends up finding one of the lead scientists that was working with him and developing his powers. And the scientist was like, "We fucked up with you.
Yeah.
Like, you should have had your mother around, and we took that away from you." And then he ends up saying, like, "You're the most powerful, but you're also my biggest regret."
Yeah, the biggest. Was he say regret or mistake or failure or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
something along those lines.
Because he raised him wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when they're all investigating all that stuff, they find out about. They were investigating the V compound, and they broke into the hospital.
Yeah. So this is when they found out that they were making the supers, and the supers weren't born.
Yes.
So they see the compound V in like an IV bag, and a baby in one of the incubator type things.
And the baby opened up its eyes and laser shot out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, they're super babies. And then that's when all the guys in the machine guns come running in. And so they corner, so he just grabs the baby and he just picks it up and he's aiming it at them and he's like squeezing the baby and it's shooting
like
lasers out of his eyes. And
It's like, that was fucking awesome.
Oh my God. That was fucking crazy.
Crazy.
Oh.
Then the pep talk is like, "Now you get raised right, or I'm gonna come back for you and stomp you."
Yeah, that's
threatens a baby.
He's threatening a baby. But anyway, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. We were talking about Homelander and Elizabeth Shue because they have like their whole weird fucking breastfeeding thing that they like to do.
Yeah, no, you can tell he had mommy issues.
Yeah. And so basically, we were talking about earlier with Homelander raped Butcher's wife.
Yeah, who worked for Vought and was his like social media manager.
Yes.
And he ended up raping her, and then she got pregnant.
Well, we didn't find that out yet because, like, we had to go to Elizabeth Shue's house first because then he found out Elizabeth Shue and Homelander were a thing, and so Butcher goes to her house, and that's after all those guys are wanted, and there's like the last guard. He goes to her house, and he has her tied up, waiting for Homelander to come. And
well, the doctor tells him first.
Yeah. Because Homelander is also finding out about what had happened too.
Because Vought, again, trying to keep the image of these heroes. So Homelander raped Butcher's wife,
who was working as like a PR assistant.
Yeah, it was his social media manager or whatever. And he got her pregnant, and she went to Elizabeth Shue and
told her basically.
Told her the baby had superpowers, and the doctor says she died giving birth because he just ripped like right out of her, like she couldn't contain a superpowered baby.
Yeah, and that's how she died.
Yeah. So that's the first story that we're told with her.
And then Elizabeth Shue said something different.
Well, then he ended up going back to the doctor and killed him, essentially tortured him. We found out that he's still alive.
Yeah, because of their stories were different, he investigated and found out that she never died. She actually carried the baby, and the baby was born.
Yeah.
And they're having them growing, like almost like in an undercover, what is it called? When you're a witness.
Witness protection.
Yeah, it was like a witness protection type of
like
deal.
a safe house.
Yeah, like a safe house, and like in suburban America. And it was kind of cool because the scientist who didn't like the way that he raised Homelander and found out that Homelander had a kid, he went out to go make sure that kid was raised that the way he wanted him to get raised, with like in a family in a house.
Then he just fucking melts her face.
Yeah, once he found out. And so Butcher's just like, well, what the fuck was I supposed to do?
Well, he's just kind of like, well, fuck it, and then fucking blows him up anyway with him still in the house.
And he gets saved by Homelander, who drops him off in front of his ex-wife's house with Homelander's baby.
Yeah,
I just love that ending so much.
Which is different than the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the comic ending?
In the comics, she actually dies giving birth, but we find out that it's because of Black Noir, not Homelander.
Oh, dude, Black Noir was cool too.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We're talking about that. We never saw Black Noir talk once throughout the series.
Yeah.
He did talk once. It was at one of their conventions. I saw Black Noir with a microphone talking to people as they walk by. I was like, wait a second, was that Black Noir? I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I was
it could also
sure.
be. It was a convention. It could have been a cosplay.
I think it was with them. Like they were I forget what it was. I have to watch it again.
I remember there was the scene with Seth Rogen. They were making the Black Noir movie.
Oh, okay.
And I think like he was like, oh, it's great to be a part of like the VCU and everything like that. And then they went to go past it, and like every time he was about to talk, they cut it off.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he had a microphone because it was that costume. It wasn't like a cosplayer costume. It was the Black Noir costume.
Dude, cosplayers got fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know. But in the show, you're not going to confuse your viewing audience. You know what I mean? But anyway, I thought I saw him talking. But you said Black Noir, and that's why I went there. But yeah, you were saying that Black Noir was the reason why somebody died?
In the comics, Black Noir is the reason that Becca Butcher dies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Black Noir's
So
crazy.
fucking Batman.
Yeah. And he's in his costume the whole time. You never see Black Noir's face.
Yeah.
And he's just like so Batman. The whole movie the whole show is fucking great, man.
We had Aquaman, Batman.
The Deep. Aquaman he's called the Deep, and I love it because like he gets cast to they ship him off to where?
Sandusky, Ohio.
Sandusky, Ohio, because it went public that he basically made Starlight give him a blowjob.
He essentially raped Starlight. So they send him off to Ohio.
I love it that he's in this hotel in Ohio, and you see him in front of the computer, and it's just like deeper memoirs of the deep. And I was just like, oh my god, his fucking gills, his fucking chest gills.
Yeah,
when the girl raped him in the
that
hotel
was fucking
room.
crazy.
Oh,
what the fuck?
She's fingering his fucking gills that are on his ribs, and she's just like, fuck me, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, that hurts, I don't fucking care. And oh my god, dude, that was so funny because like it was kind of like the roles are reversed because that's basically what he was doing to Starlight.
Yeah, then he goes through the whole like depression, like shaving his head and his body and like calling himself like a fucking whore.
Oh my god, dude, that was so funny.
And then Starlight and Huey were the best parts of the show.
Yeah, pretty much. Other than like the crazy shit that was happening.
Yeah,
like I love the surprise like killings and stuff, but the characters, I think they were the best characters.
Yeah. I mean, even like the sadisticness and craziness of Homelander. So another thing that we fucking forgot to talk about is the Homelander and the woman character, Queen Mauve.
Oh yeah,
were Mauve? Maeve. Queen Maeve was sent to save a helicopter from terrorists. And
you mean the airplane?
Yeah, the airplane.
Airline. Yeah,
the airplane
dude,
from terrorists.
that scene was so good, dude.
And like they break in and they take out the
terrorists.
terrorists, and Homelander's there. He's doing his whole I'm not his catchphrase is "You're the heroes, not me," or some shit like that. And he's like, that's how he ends every like interaction with people.
He breaks into the cockpit and
they
finds
break
like
into the cockpit.
one more terrorist with like he killed one of the pilots and he has the last one a gun to his head.
Yeah, so he fucking heat laser eyes him and fucking destroys the
control
panel so they can't land the plane. And he's like,
all right,
we gotta go. They're gonna die. Let's go.
And Miv's like, come on, let's just take some people with us. He's like, no, we can't sway. So they can tell people that we let the plane crash.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like that scene was fucking so, because the people inside the plane got wind of that and they were like, fucking take us, help us. And, oh man.
And there was the little girl. And then, and then we see,
please take my little girls. It's so fucked up.
Yeah. And then that's because Maeve at that point was kind of like nothing fucking hurts me, like disconnected from everything. But then you could see that got to her. Like,
yeah,
they were starting to fuck with her because she ends up, I guess she had an alcohol problem in the past that they referenced a little bit. And then she started drinking again. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to her ex-girlfriend who's just like, well, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, that's right. Well, she was. And I like that that scene was necessary for us to see that Maeve was kind of like sick of that superhero type of mentality. And like she was just like, come on, let's save somebody. Let's do something good.
Yeah, and then Starlight starts giving the whole like, I heard that you stopped a bus with your bare hand and you broke your hands and you broke every arm in your hand, but you still went to physical therapy with every one of the kids. But now that I'm a part of this world, all I'm thinking is maybe it was just the writers and that you didn't actually do that.
Yeah,
and then that even got to her too. Like, I used to do good shit.
Yeah,
and like she was the only one of the seven who starts changing her behavior because of outside forces. Everyone else was like steadfast. Like Homelander was like, I'm the best. Like nobody's gonna fucking tell me what to do. The Deep was kind of like, I'm going to do my own thing. Fucking save a dolphin.
Oh my god, the dolphin, the deep with the dolphin, dude. Oh my god, he's saving the dolphin, and he's what does he say? Like he would the way he's talking this thing like how Han Solo talks to Chewbacca. You can hear the animal making noises, but you find out what he's saying through the way that he's reacting back to it. So he's basically saying, "I'm gonna jerk you off later," or something like that.
Like the dolphin's like saying like "finger my blowhole" or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He's like if I touch it, will you shut up? And he goes back to start reaching for it.
And that's when he's gonna hit. He slams on the brakes.
The cops cut in front of him, so he slams on the brakes.
And the dolphin goes flying out the window in slow motion. It just looks at him in slow motion. Goes flying out the window. Gets hit on the side on the street, and then gets run over by a truck. It is the most fun. And then he has another moment like that when he's trying to save a lobster from the store, and so he's just like, "Oh, it's like, all right, man, I'll help you out." He's like, "Hey, man, can I get a lobster?"
He's like, "No, I want that one.
I want that one." And he gets it.
I got you, bro.
Cool. And then he picks it up and he automatically, like while he's in the motion of killing the lobster for him, he's like, "No, don't do it." And he just kills the lobster. He's like, "Fuck. I was just going to set him free." So fucking funny, man. I love that shit. So great, man. Oh, I love that series, dude. I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, we gotta wait. That's the one downside with shows that you can binge is you watch all of them and then you literally have to wait a year.
Yeah. Oh god,
like
damn,
that's the thing
sucks.
that fucking sucks.
It's like they need to make sure that this is playing well before they can greenlight a season 2,
Yeah.
rather than it already being
yeah, like
greenlit.
letting it go week by week and then or signing on for like 3 episodes with like a kill fee or some shit like that.
I don't know, man. I think it's safe to say we were pleasantly surprised with this
really
series.
fucking good.
It's time to wrap up this conversation. What do you say?
All right, let's do it. I mean, there's so much to talk about, but it's just gonna end up being a long ass fucking conversation.
Oh no, it's fine. Those are great, especially when they just keep on going. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for stopping by and listening to the Too High McFly movie podcast. If you guys listen to us on SoundCloud or Spotify, travel over to our YouTube channel and you can see our other podcasts, our other videos. We have short films, movie reviews, a whole bunch of other content on there for you guys to enjoy. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Too High McFly Productions, and the same thing on Instagram at Too High McFly Productions. I'm Kevin Lyons.
I'm Mike Candelet.
And we'll see you guys in the deep.